set, Chief. Thank you. So, 5:05, we'll call the December 8th meeting of the Tilton Northfield Fire District Building Committee to order. Present this evening are myself, Kevin Cate, Commissioner John Silly, Chief Mike Sitka, Tim Sattler, and Kevin Wall. No one from the public, so there will be no public comment. Is there any old business that anyone needs to bring up?
I think the only thing we had last time was from the new business last time. I don't have it with me. We were going to reach out to a few names.
Yes.
So that was the new business, old business.
Yeah.
And then the design build is the only other thing for ongoing old business before you go into new.
So I handed out to everyone a two-page list of contractors. That's the contractors that I have had the opportunity to contact based on the list that we developed at our prior meeting, and then an email that Tim Sattler had sent to me. I will, if we decide to continue tonight, I will try to contact the remaining contractors who are on our list that we developed at our last meeting. The ones that I have not had a chance to get in touch with are Harvey Construction, Turnstone, and Milestone. On the list that I handed out is Hutter Construction, which let me back up. So when I spoke with these contractors, I asked them to forward letters of interest and other information to Kathy, which she was kind enough to print out, and the chief brought with him tonight. So Hutter Construction was one, North Branch Construction, and North Branch has declined to participate. When I spoke with Amanda Savage, at first she was interested. She brought it to their board, and they declined. They decided not to because they don't want to do a design build. They want to do construction. Bonaparte and Stone has submitted a package. Tim Long at Meridian Construction was interested, but timing didn't work right. He said right now they have a 2-year backlog.
Which one was that?
Meridian. Yeah. Ben Carino.
So
they're out. Meridian is out. Ben Carino at Carino Construction asked if he could have some more time. Said he didn't think he'd have time to get it in for this meeting. I said that would be a problem. Bonaparte and Stone, we already talked about. Cobb Hill, I left a voicemail. I haven't heard from anyone in Cobb Hill. I know that they did the Canterbury Fire Station, I believe, and I think some others as well. Bowen Corp should be submitting some, and Fulcrum I haven't heard back from Joe Kaiser. So that being said, the other contractors, Harvey, Turnstone, and Milestone. If you guys want me to, I will be happy to reach out to them, see if they're interested or not. I think we have a good group of interested parties, and then the chief brought with him some information from another contractor. If you want to talk about that, Chief.
So this gentleman, he's not a contractor per se. He is he represents the owners of the project. So, and what his company does is, if you read his letter, it's quite extensive. They assist in every phase of the building process, from the design concept all the way through to the finish punch list. And they work for the property owner, and they represent the property owner. And what they do is they make sure that using the design build concept, which they favor, they make sure they help the project owner contract the right contractors, vet the contractors, do RFPs, whatever those processes need to be, and then once there's the design process, getting the building committee involved, making sure that the right people are on the building committee, and we have a good constitution for our building committee, according to what he has said. And publicization of the project, once it gets going, to make sure that the public will support it, and things like that. I just got this yesterday, I sent it to the commissioners today, and I brought it for you guys to look at tonight. It's quite extensive, he has several letters of reference in this package, which are very excellent. I called a couple of them just to check to see, and they were all glowing of this company's performance. Everybody I talked to, well, two of the people that I talked to, that he was very attentive, made sure that the building was what it needed to be, came in on time and in under budget. So it sounds like something that we would be interested in. They do charge a fee. It's usually 3%, but he also said that they usually save more than that 3% to the owner, and all the savings go, 100% of the savings go back to the owner. So it sounds
3% of what?
of any savings of the guaranteed maximum price. When you go into this, there's going to be a guaranteed maximum price. He usually comes in under budget on those, and any of the savings through his negotiation with either switching out materials or whatever, changing contractors or whatever, he negotiates 100% of those savings go back to the municipality, in this case, us. And so it sounds like something that we should consider. The fire commissioners will be the ones that will be considering that, but I'm bringing the information to you. He's going to attend the fire commissioner meeting tomorrow night and have his spiel, and I think it would be appropriate for any members of the building committee that want to attend should attend to hear his spiel. He's also a fire chief in a rural town up in North Sugar Hill, so he's aware of what fire departments do and stuff like that, but his main business is this, and which he is the president of.
Thanks, Chief.
You're welcome.
And Sugar Hill is a small rural department
It's
too, so,
It is, Sugar Hill's a small little town.
right, but, so
Yeah,
they're
nice
thinking like a
pancake
volunteer, yeah, they're thinking like volunteer call mentality and stuff like that, rather than Manchester
Right.
concept, so they're thinking more small town, so that is a positive to experience base as opposed to Manchester.
She just spends whatever they want to spend.
I don't know about that, but.
So I guess one question is, given the list of contractors that I have contacted, knowing that there's two that declined to participate, do you want me to contact the others, Harvey, Turnstone, and Miles? Or do you think that what we have for possible participants is?
Well, so far, we really only have two, right?
Two committed.
Well, we have two submittals,
Yeah.
but we do know that Carino and Fountain will be getting to us as well.
They are going to submit?
They are.
Okay,
Yes.
so they,
Mr. Clark also recommended two companies, which I left a list on my desk, forgot to bring it with me, and he said, because I read him these, when I talked to him on the phone today, I read him the companies, and he says, well, you didn't invite these folks who are very good and these folks. But I wrote it down on my desk and I left it there.
If you want to email me those tomorrow night.
I will do that, yep.
I would make a suggestion that give another, I don't want to rule out the effort that people have done already, and definitely support that, but a second call out to the ones we haven't heard from, just to see one way or the other, and then the ones you haven't.
Sure.
I think that's just getting a nice, and the ones that gives a nice range to go from. just to be able to look at in that rather than just commit. I appreciate the ones who were able to get it in that fashion. I don't want them to think that we're not.
Pretty quick, actually.
Yeah, it's a very
was
quick
quick,
turnaround for
yeah.
them, and so it's very much appreciated. They were, I don't want to discard them, I haven't even looked at any of it, but I think having a couple more.
Yeah, I would kind of agree.
We have the time. You know, it's not as though we're, like we're trying to put this thing together for March.
Right.
And I'm fine with contacting these other contractors. It was a tough time, it was right before Thanksgiving
Oh, yeah.
that I was calling you.
So you'll be contacting, it looks like 5 more on your sheets and then possibly 3 from the chief.
Yeah. Harvey, Turnstone, and Milestone are the ones that I haven't gotten in touch with.
Right.
And I'll follow up with Cobb Hill and Fulton.
Yeah. So then the 8 more that you get, and of that, you probably only get half at best. Well, I mean, as a typical,
We had 3 or 4 good solid ones to pick from, I think would be okay.
well, you do already 2 good names, no names, but
Right.
definitely want to just,
You said Harvey, Millstone, and
Harvey, Turnstone,
Uh,
and Milestone.
yeah.
Milestone's the one that they built the Tilden Police Department. Turnstone does a lot of state work. I don't know if they've ever built a fire station or
And Harvey, you said did Canterbury?
not. No, Cobb Hill did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Canterbury.
Coffee did Canterbury.
I didn't hear back from anybody
Yeah.
at Cobb Hill. Harvey, I don't know if they've ever built a fire station. And I can't remember if they do, how much design build work they do. They do a lot of educational facilities
Mhm.
and medical buildings.
Work on both those.
CMC, Dartmouth Hitchcock,
Yeah.
Phillips Exeter.
I think they even make some refrigerator. What do we want to give them for a time frame as far as getting back to us? Our next meeting will be the 22nd if we decide to have it, 3 days before Christmas. Well, if that's the case, then I would say give it to them till the Monday before the following meeting, which would be the second Wednesday in January.
We tight with the holidays.
Yeah,
Okay.
Should, I mean, because we don't have our backs against the wall.
Okay.
So if we jumped it to beyond the first of the year,
Well, that's what I
So
said.
like
It's-
19th.
The 12th would be,
12th.
January 12th would be our first meeting.
Right. Yeah, so that's like 2 weeks after Christmas and all that. I mean, a week and a half after New Year's,
If we
plus
say
all of December.
have it to us by the 10th of January.
Yeah. Cool.
Just so you're aware, I'm away, I'm out of state that the 12th, week of the 12th. I'll be in Arizona.
No, no,
Oh, no? Yeah.
no.
Yes,
No.
Arizona, it is.
what's in Arizona?
Sunlight.
Yeah. Vacation for the second half, and the first half is the fire department safety officers training for myself.
So you said January 10th?
January 10th.
That's fair.
So, I'll reach out to those that I haven't gotten to, those I haven't
Email
heard back
those
from, and then the two, was 2 or 3 chief things.
two, but maybe one of them is one of these that you already mentioned, I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah, I remember you told me, I thought one of them was on the list already when we briefly talked on the
I
phone.
think Milestone is one that you mentioned, but I'm not 100% sure.
Once we have responses from all the contractors, I understand from our last meeting was that we would then decide who we wanted to interview. So, everyone else is understanding?
That was what we talked about.
So if you're looking at that and you're looking to have packets sent to us by the 10th, and that would give you 2 days before the meeting. Would you look at wanting to try and schedule interviews, an interview or two for the 26th of January? The following meeting?
We're gonna need time to read through their information if we have it for the meeting on the 12th.
I mean, if we get stuff in earlier than that, we can peruse it if people have
Right, but
time.
if you look at what, these packages are pretty extensive.
Yeah.
It's not something that can easily be emailed.
Right, but if they do packets that they submit to the
Oh,
fire
yes.
station, and then we could be told that they have it, people can go pick it up if, to have a chance to digest in advance if, as an option.
Yeah. I know, these were dropped off.
Yes.
Was this emailed or was
It
it?
was, and Kathy was kind enough to print them for you guys.
Wow.
It was my paper budget.
Toner, pink cartridges,
Oh!
Toner, that's toner.
is it?
Yes.
So, why is Warren Street ringing a bell with me?
Because that's the architect firm that Kyle Barker used to work for. And so we were using Warren Street in the previous things, and then Kyle Barker left Warren Street, and then the commissioners made a decision to stick with Kyle Barker rather than Warren Street moving forward.
Does Hutter own Warren Street?
No,
Not that,
no, Warren Street's an independent architect.
must be who they would use. I haven't
Yeah.
seen,
I
and I have no idea if Black Page and Stone would be using Kyle or somebody else. I do know, when I spoke to Ben Carino, he told me the name of the architect, but it wasn't Kyle or Warren Street, and I don't recall the name.
I'm just trying to do a timeline with you. It looks like turn in by January 10th, review docs and discuss interview process, 112 and 126.
Yeah, I think we're gonna need at least those 2 meetings to do that.
Okay, so are you looking to try and schedule interviews for February 9th, the first one, or February 23rd, the second one? How much time do you think you need? I'm just trying to figure this whole timeline out.
We meet on the 12th and the 26th of January.
Would we expect that they would come to a meeting for that interview, or are we gonna have to schedule during the day to go to their?
They'll come to us. And we can set, it doesn't have to be at a regular meeting. We can have a separate interview process. And we also need to decide how many, is the entire building committee going to participate in the interview process? Or we select some number of people to participate in the interview process?
And you want some uniformity too, so you don't want like 2 or 3 people speaking with this one and some other 2 or
Right,
3.
it has to be the same.
Yeah, you want that uniformity.
It does. That interviews each.
Yeah.
You could even, if you can do it by Zoom if you had to.
I think you could schedule time, and if you had to do it, then they could come here, people could come in present, or if you weren't able to get away, it's like, okay, it's gonna be at 1 o'clock on Tuesday. All right, turn the computer on. Sorry.
Part of this process is also going to be to open at least some number of standardized questions for us to ask.
Yep.
So we all have the same opportunity to answer those questions.
I think that's where somebody like Gavin Clark comes in, he vets a lot of that stuff. But that's up to the commissioners to decide whether they want to.
Yeah,
And he's
that's
gonna be
an
there
additional-
tomorrow night?
Yes.
That's an additional expense that
Correct.
they'll have to look at. From what I understood from the way you described it, Chief, is that whatever the budget ends up being, let's use $3 million for hypothetical purposes, that his fee is 3% of that $3 million.
Yes, that he would get paid, and then any savings after that, all come back to us. But so that would be 3,030,000.
Right, and then whatever he's able to save us, that's bad.
We could find out more of the specifics tomorrow night when it comes.
Yeah, unfortunately, I can't be there. We have
It's recorded.
tickets for ELF.
Nice.
No, I hate
Well, it's still nice.
community theater,
Yes.
but I go because we have friends who participate.
It also keeps the wife happy, so it's a good thing. And you're being recorded, so you appreciate the opportunity to keep her happy.
And then you can make
Thank
fun,
you, John.
and you can make fun of your friends after.
No, I don't like musicals and never have.
You're being recorded.
I know, she knows, they all know. And I'm not sure if they appreciate that I show up or not.
But our meeting tomorrow night will be recorded as well, so you can actually hear from the guy's voice, mouth himself afterwards.
Just for clarification, if you're using $3 million, 3% would be 90.
Yes,
Okay, I didn't do it. So
I knew that.
90,000.
it was all hypothetical, so John's
Who said what, who said,
Oh, yeah.
1%.
90,000
3%.
of 3 million.
And this document says 3 to 4.
Okay, thank you.
times 3 is 9, isn't it?
I didn't try doing the math, and
So,
I have enough.
It's DPS is kind of back.
Yes. He may not be their only one. I mean, that's something you can ask the question of, is
Right.
he their only representative, or?
Actually, it may have only been one project, so.
Right, so they may have multiples.
So back to the timeline, we'll be meeting the 9th and the 23rd of February. So we'll look to schedule interviews after that, is that correct?
Yeah. Which is where we were looking at, what you said, the ninth, review, wait a second. You said review and discuss the January 12th and 26th.
Right.
The
We're
ninth-
meeting the 9th
Yep.
and the 23rd in February.
Yep.
So we're gonna, we can schedule the interviews for a regular scheduled committee meeting. If that's what we
Could
choose
do
to
that too, yeah. You could schedule it for the ninth. I would possibly throw out an idea that not on the ninth, just in case you need that extra night from the review and discuss process of the 12th and 26th, to give you that 3 nights to do that if needed, rather than start throwing schedules right in there. I'd be a little nervous, and that's where you can finalize your questions and everything for the ninth, and let them know that it'll be sometime after the ninth, that'll work with schedules.
Yeah, I think that's valid.
So the 23rd would be, if we get it in a meeting, that's when we would have them come in. Does that sound? I'm just trying to document as you do things.
Yes.
So if during a meeting.
So first, we would schedule interviews after the February 9th meeting.
Yeah. If you couldn't make it to the 23rd, then you can work on your by exceptions and availability. See, you're already doing much better than me. I like it.
I don't have 7 other meetings a week to go to like you do. Except for business to run, but that's not at night. Okay, any other discussion on our beginning of our selection process?
I think that's a good plan to work towards.
For those members who are unable to attend tonight, Chief, would it be appropriate to suggest that they can go see Kathy and get their copies?
Yep.
So I'll put out an email tomorrow then to the group, for those who weren't able to attend tonight, that we have these packages available. And pick them up to Kathy.
I want to get to these two before the whole bundle comes in.
Well, there should be more coming at least from Reno and from, do you guys prefer to have them printed out like this, or do you want them emailed? That's a lot of work for Kathy to do.
Well, but they should have come,
Well, the BPS one did, they obviously dropped them off, but Hutter, they're out in what, New Ipswich, so they emailed theirs.
Mine doesn't need to be printed. I do like a printed copy, but if you email it, I'll just print it up. So.
And I can do the same. I can print it out myself. If it comes spiral, I won't be upset. I do like to have some tactile paper when I'm working stuff, as well as I can do a lot on the screen, but you can't always.
Yes. Plus, we don't want to destroy John's paper budget.
It's his budget.
my budget.
Uh-huh. You're on the budget committee, right?
Yeah, you spend,
Yours is the one that goes up to the public.
you spend.
Listen, come to the annual meeting in March, if there's an overage on the office supplies budget, whose fault is that?
Trust me, that won't be the only shit I take at a meeting come out.
What else you got?
That's all I have as far as old business. Does anyone have new business?
The balance of the committee is out of whack, isn't it?
I think it is at the moment.
Yeah, my concern is needing more members for the committee.
I can take it back to the commissioners.
I mean, we have one active member who just couldn't be here tonight.
Well, two, because Derek and Matt,
Oh, Derek.
Derek, Matt, and Julia. So those are kind of the
Have
regular ones.
have we seen Julia?
She was at the last meeting.
No. She
At
hasn't
the
been,
commissioners meeting.
yeah.
Yeah, she made it to the commissioners meeting, but she didn't make it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she was at the night of the commissioners where, yeah.
I talked to Casey Laminuzzi, he lives in Northfield, and, because we were short Northfield people. He's interested, so what do we,
Have them send an email to
That's good. The commissioners, right?
info@TNFD, and Kathy will get it, and she'll give the information.
The commissioners are appointing authority,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Yeah, the commissioners appointing authority to the committee makes recommendations to the commissioners make the decisions. That's why they get paid the big bucks.
I gave them a raise.
I tried reducing it.
Theoretically, yes.
I tried reducing it. Tim, you're Tilton?
Yes.
Julia is,
Northfield, right?
so right now what you have is chief, myself, so chief, commissioner, full-time with Derek, call member of Matt, Kevin Tate, Tilton, Tim Sattler, Tilton, Kevin Walter, Northfield, Julia, Northfield. But it is still a small,
but where are Matt and Derek though?
there is full-time and call member representation. So they're in a different role on it.
So their residence doesn't,
No, it's
No, Tilton, I mean, Matt was in Northfield, Derek was in Samberton.
Right, so that's fire department assigned people from that representation, so one of each categories. So you have administration, commissioner, call member, and full-time member.
but I agree with Tim, we need more members.
I'll talk to Mr. Watson again and see if
It's, I tell you, it's tough finding people who want to do this kind of thing. It's awful.
Now, what time is he chief?
he's in Tilton, he was on Mill Street.
So Bill Watson would be a Tilton, and you said Laminuzzi, Casey Laminuzzi, is he North?
He's Northfield.
Okay. So, I mean, theoretically,
Does that bring us back to?
well, that would give you 3 from each town as residents, if you were to get both of them back on. Or both, if they want. you definitely want people that want to be on. You don't want to try
Oh.
and drag someone to it
No.
because you want that buy-in.
You can't drag someone to a table, it doesn't work.
You can drag them, and you may not get what you want out of it.
Exactly.
The original list had 4 from each town.
Okay, and, well, I know that Todd Ordell never came to any. Joyce Fullweiler was the Northfield, she couldn't make the
Yeah.
Wednesday.
She has a Wednesday night conflict.
Yeah, she had Wednesday, so her and Todd, I think, were Tilton Northfield, and they both haven't attended any.
So that left us equal at 3 each.
Right,
Is
yeah.
that how that worked?
It did,
Yes.
and he is the actual, based on memory.
So we could use 2 more from each, but
You could.
we can function, I think, with,
One more.
I think if you had three residents from each town at minimum,
I think that would
I think
function.
that would be a good representation.
I agree.
So we'll try and reach out to the both of them again.
I'll reach out to Casey and ask him to send an email to Kathy or to info at TNFD.
And we'll reach out to Bill to see if he's still, like I said, I'm the one that burned the bridge probably, because I didn't even recognize his name when I had the stuff here. I tried sending a letter, an email of apology, but. We don't have any minutes from last time.
No, not yet. With the passage, the federal passage of the infrastructure bill, I don't know if anybody knows or how we can find out if there are
So-
monies.
So on that, I contacted both senators to have them do research to see if there was any money in there for funding the fire stations. And they both said that they're looking into it, but they can't find anything yet, but they'll continue to look for it. And if they do find something, they'll get back in touch with me. They've been very responsive to anything that I've ever asked of them.
So a concern with that, if there was, and I'm sure this is a question to ask them, is it to a municipality or to a district?
So I didn't phrase it in that way, like some of the grants that we do are municipal grants and some are not eligible for districts. And some of them, districts can get them through municipalities,
Right.
the process that we've just gone through, and both municipalities are not helping us out, so that's good.
So just let them know on that as a follow-up question to it is the municipality versus the district question, because we found that out on a couple of
So
things.
that is because of the way the state
Okay,
did it.
it was a state thing.
Federal grants are generally don't have
Okay.
that restriction on them.
That would be a great way to pay for it.
At least part of it, if you
Percentage,
anything,
yeah.
you know, anything's better than nothing. But we're also, the state is also looking at that fund to build a 911 PSAP in Lakes Region Dispatch, and we're not having any luck finding money for that either.
Yeah, right now, the state.
What's going on? Are they gonna have to move?
Yes,
Gonna have to move.
yes.
Why didn't the state just draw a line and say, okay?
Ask the governor. The governor wanted that
Probably
either.
wanted it all.
We tried, we said that's our desire, was we don't want to move, we want to stay where we are, just draw a
There's no
circle around
harm,
us.
there would be no harm whatsoever in doing that.
It's something about, it's too close to 106, and it's prime land for development for anybody looking to purchase that 200, whatever, 60 acres, whatever it is. So the new location is about, you know where Robbie Mills Field is?
You do?
So if you're driving up there and Robbie Mills is on the left,
Yep.
there's a field on the right.
Yep.
That field on the right is state land, and that's where the new facility will go.
Which the state's not gonna build.
State's gonna build it, they just don't know how they're gonna fund it yet. So the governor, it's up to the governor to find the money, it's not up to anybody else.
So, is he gonna fund the cost of moving
Yes, everything. It's supposed to be net zero,
to the fire district?
To the
Or to the
fire-
mutual aid system?
that's correct.
We'll be happy to see that if it
Well,
happens.
that's,
That's
I
gonna
mean,
be,
I've been on Commissioner Kenny's, Counselor Kenny, excuse me, case over it. The Commissioner of Public Safety, Bob Quinn, we're pretty close now, been all over him on it. I haven't seen the governor face to face yet, but when I do have a meeting with him, that's one of the things that I relate to him is that if you're making us move, it's gonna be zero, because it's zero for us now, other than upkeep.
Yeah, but you don't own the building, right? The mutual aid doesn't own that property.
We don't own property.
Yeah,
We
state
lease,
owns.
we lease from the state currently.
Right. And that would
But it's a
continue.
very symbiotic relationship. We have a lot of facilities there that the state are using for their purposes, and we're using some of theirs, and so the lease that we pay is practically nothing. It's like $12,000 a year.
Hmm.
When we pay, utilities and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And on that side of the building, if there's like a roof, we pay for that, or a heating system problem, we pay for, anything on our side of the building, we pay for.
Elevation's a little different there too.
It's higher,
It's higher.
so that would be, that's actually an
Maybe a
advantage.
benefit?
Yes, because,
Minus like the number.
yeah, so, there would be a new tower erected, communications tower erected, and it would give us better line of sight to, and a higher things for our radio infrastructure. So in that respect, it would be better.
As
And,
long as it doesn't cost.
and if they build it right and build it tall enough, they could even rent space on it to, a cell carrier or something like that, and start collecting revenue too.
That's a very expensive move.
Yes,
And how-
probably on the order of $15 to $20 million.
I can't imagine the logistics of staying operational, and when you all at once.
Well, it has to be, you're fully 100% operational here, you flip the switch, and you're working here, and then that goes away.
So you got a lot of new equipment.
It's,
not
everything's
relocated.
new, everything has to be
Yeah.
new, because you can't, okay, we're gonna take out these computer racks that run our CAD system and put them over there, and then you can't run the CAD system.
You're gonna be duplicate for a bit, because you can't turn one on, shut A
Yeah,
off
you-
until B's on.
Yeah, and
Right.
the new,
You gotta
the
sell
new
them
place has to be tested out before you
Yeah.
decide to actually make a move, does it really work, does everything
Yeah.
function the way
Yeah.
it should be?
That's logistics, just,
I think it's a ways down the road, actually, because then, even if they sell the land, they're not gonna make us move unless that place is ready for us to move into.
Right.
They're not gonna say, hey,
sorry, but
yeah,
And the developer's not coming in the next day with a bulldozer.
Start construction.
they can start in some other piece of the property until we're.
yeah, they could develop a lot before they even had to say move to you guys.
But theoretically, the lease says that they can give us 18 months' notice and we have to leave.
Seems awfully tight.
It's very tight, even if we found a piece of land on our own to build,
And had the money and everything else, that is,
it's a non-starter, really. It's a 3-year project, in all reality.
And it's not like you can just shut down mutual aid.
when you do go to calls, phone, hello.
Well, where would the calls have to go? They'd have to go to every individual fire
There
station.
used to be a, what was that called? Is it a call tree? Someone calls someone, calls someone,
That
calls
was a
someone, calls
long,
someone.
long time ago,
Calls
before my
someone.
time. I have a lot less white hair if you actually remember that.
Yeah. I mean, that's what it was, I'm telling you.
No, that's what the big old siren on the thing was, to let you know
Oh,
from
it
the
was-
station.
Yeah, you don't hear it downtown.
How long has Lake Shore Mutual Aid been in existence?
1972 was incorporated.
So what did they do?
It became a municipal corporation.
So what did the towns do before that?
Call someone, call someone, call someone, call someone.
They still had dispatch,
It's
center,
radio
just wasn't,
communications, but.
yeah.
It wasn't centralized like that.
It actually started at Laconia Fire Department, one of the old buildings that's not there anymore, then moved to the Belknap County Courthouse.
Yep.
and from there, it moved to where it is now.
Really had in the courthouse was like a bathroom and a half. It was
They had two consoles.
very tall, I mean, very small.
Yeah, it was two consoles in there, and that was it, and maybe a bathroom, that was it. I've been in there,
So
and
tiny,
that was that.
so tiny.
What else do we have for this one?
That's it?
Oh,
No other new business?
I move that we adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, do we have a second?
I met you.
What's that?
We have a motion to adjourn, do we have a second?
I guess motion dies for lack of a second.
I don't think you need a motion to adjourn.
You don't actually.
No. All right, then, time being 5:46, the meeting is over.
You've been in touch with Kathy for communications and stuff?
Yes.
Okay.